I am not using microphone. Is it okay, Mona? Do you hear me?
Absolutely. It's perfect. Sami, are you good?
Yes, yes. You hear me well?
You can start now.
Prince, okay. As long as we take our time, we're not rushing the answers, and everybody's feeling positive and good. All right?
All right.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
I think we have
Okay, go live.
Right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Nextv Series MENA. My name is Mona Ibellini, and it gives me great pleasure to be moderating our next panel discussion, which comes under the title, Mobile Going into Content Distribution. And with us today, we have some wonderful speakers. Thank you for joining us, gentlemen. Let me introduce you. We have Prince Thomas, Digital and Innovation at Ooredoo, Director of, Director of Digital and Innovation at Ooredoo. We have Sami Matri, Content Country Director in the MENA region for Orange. And we have Mustafa Alpay Gouler, Managing Director at Blue TV. Thank you, gentlemen. Can you please introduce yourselves, starting with Sami, please?
Thank you very much, Mona, and hi everybody. I'm very happy to participate and speak this amazing conference and panel, which is a very key event, I think, in the region, OTT and video. So I work at the group level at the Orange Content Unit. We are the content unit of the group. I'm part of the international team. I'm taking care of the MENA region in terms of support in strategy definition, content negotiation with partners, and go-to-market and support to the launch, especially on video.
Great, thank you, Sami. Mustafa, please.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Thanks a lot for the introduction. And let me go quickly. I am the Managing Director of Blue TV International, also the founding member of Blue TV since the beginning of Blue TV adventure. And I am currently very much focused on the expansion of Blue TV internationally and also partnerships. Blue TV, very quickly, an introduction of Blue TV as well. Blue TV is the leading SVOD platform in Turkey, launched first in 2016, and then expanded into MENA, stepped into MENA, I should say. And we are growing globally as well in other regions.
Thank you, Mustafa. And finally, Prince, please.
Thank you. Good morning, Mona, and thank you for the introduction and the kind words to start with. I think it's a great event that we're looking forward to, a great session, looking forward to a good discussion on a very pertinent and relevant topic in the industry today. It has been for a while, for a few years now, and it's only gaining in importance. So I'm very happy to be part of this panel. My name is Prince Thomas, as you can see up there. I head up digital innovation for Ooredoo in Oman. Of course, content is a key part of that strategy, and like it is for many of the opcos in the region and even globally as well. So yeah, thank you.
Great, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much. Well, let's kick off with one of our first subjects, which is looking at the benefits of bringing video and mobile activities together. So may I ask Sami, in terms of democratization and innovation in mobile video usage, what are the benefits of this, please?
So what is important to know is at Orange, we have 4 countries in the region. In the MENA region, we have Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, and Jordan, which represent over 50 million customers. We are mobile centric. That is that most of these customers are mobile, using mobile. And the second point is everything is going digital and online, and especially on OTT. So for us, it's very important, to surf on the wave and be, again, an accelerator and driver for usage and democratization. We have a responsibility in terms of content, bringing content, and international for sure, but also local ones, and try to even support the ecosystem when we can. So this is important in terms for the customers, for the partners, and for, I think, for the region. And this is the value can Orange bring.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sami. Mustafa, may I also ask you, can you elaborate on your approach, objectives, and overall strategy regarding the distribution of video services through OTT?
Yeah. Yes, it's a long story, but as you know, we have started distributing content through OTT in 2015-16. In fact, earlier, but in 2016 with Blue TV, it was the first time we started up a paying, a subscription-based video on demand service, which was a really big challenge. At that time, and the founder of the company have been very challenged at that time because that in Turkey or in MENA or in general, there were very little inclination on the consumer side to get a service, a content service, paying for that service. So it was a big challenge, but starting from 2017, especially when we started producing our own originals, all picture changed. So basically our step into SVOD OTT business was pretty much leveraged by our approach on originals. And at that time, we were the only, I think, in the region, probably in EMEA probably, we were the only one producing those originals. I mean, it was a very risky thing to do. But thanks God, it helped. And we started seeing subscribers coming in substantially starting from 2017. And our approach in Turkey and MENA and rest of the world changes a lot. Our offer in, for example, specifically for the Arabic audience is very much focused on Turkish content. And our approach reaching the audience is also different from what we do in Turkey or in Azerbaijan or in Germany, especially for the Arabic speaking region. We have good partners in the region to deliver the service much more conveniently, especially on the payment side and also reach side. In more than 20 countries, it's a big challenge to reach the large Arabic-speaking audience on your own. So our approach in MENA is more B2B, but our approach in Turkey is 99% D2C. So those are the differences between regions that I can just give a headline.
Okay, thank you very much. Moving on to Prince. Can you also elaborate on your approach, objectives, and overall strategy regarding the distribution of video services through OTT, please?
Sure, great. I think that's a great question to start with, Mona, because again, as telco providers, MNOs globally as well as in the region, most of the players have been, kind of working with content in some way or the other. And it's no surprise there because content always finds its way to the consumer, right? So because the consumer is consuming the content, whether it's video, whether it's any other form, continuously, either directly or through the operator. So it's very pertinent that we who have the access to that base, who are the service providers, are able to provide back to the customer in terms of the right content at the right packaging, which enables them not only discovery, but also the ability to consume that in a friendly way. And I think the operators are kind of uniquely placed because, and I just give an example of speaking to somebody just about a week back, and he said, you know what, I just found a specific app which has content in this language, a lot of originals, a lot of classics, which was relatively unknown. I mean, this guy is, he's not a niche, he's kind of a digital native, he's very aware of apps. So there is a segment who's aware of the tier 1 kind of content apps, etc. But then suddenly they realize that, oh, look at this, there's another app which has all of my favorite content, but I didn't know about it. And I think that's where also another key opportunity area for telcos as well, while we are working with the tier ones to create that continuous momentum of content ecosystem. There's also a discoverability that we provide for the large OTT players, for the niche OTT players, where we bridge the gap between finding them for the consumer, and then even for the consumer side, to make them part of the packages so it's easier to consume and find them. It's a great mix there in terms of what the MNO plays a role in terms of strategy and in terms of execution. And again, this year has been testament to that, right? So if you look at this year, with all the work from home, and as you can see, all of us probably working from our homes, attending this panel from our homes as well, has meant that a lot more people are staying home, spending more time at home. And that has meant the content consumption opportunity has significantly gone up as well. Kids are staying at home, doing online learning. Because they had limited hours online in the past. Now they have forced hours online to make sure they're learning during that time, right? So I think that entire shift has meant that the content in its form, even the way it was almost a year back, is no longer what it is today and what it's going to be in the next 2 years or 5 years. So great opportunity topic, and video is the forefront of that content genre. So great opportunity from that perspective as well, looking ahead in terms of opportunities to streamline what the strategy is going to look like on monetizing as well as distribution of content.
Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts, Prince. Moving on to our next topic, which is under the title of how to build strong partnerships with telcos and content providers. Coming back to you, Sami, what are the options when it comes to collaborating? Do you have metrics of a successful partnership to share with our audience today, for example? Examples such as carrier billing, bundled subscription offers with data plans, and so forth.
Yes, so building strong partnership is first to think about the customers. So it's linked to our responsibility of democratization, bringing quality instead of piracy, bringing affordable price instead of high prices, bringing method of payments instead of international credit cards. So this first is to think about the customer, and it's very important for us at Orange, because again, this OTT wave, let's say, it's new to the market, and we are at a very early stage in the MENA region of these services. So democratization should lead to think about the customer first, and this should drive our, let's say, sense of partnerships and win-win partnerships. So we try to build win-win partnerships with our partners. Each one bring his assets. We bring the network. We open the customer base, million customers in the region. We bring our billing features, and we bring our marketing tools and channels. So this means that we bring an entire model of distribution, a smart model. So the strategy is to act as a smart distributor with those partners. And we try to help them to, let's say, reduce the cost of acquisition of each customer in each country, because we act locally. The other point is these partnerships are linked also to the model we choose. We work, generally speaking, at Orange on a revenue share model because it's easier to implement, and we go through aggregators to have the partnership with let's say, the video brands and the SVOD partners. So this is the second point. And the last point is to be really, let's say, focus on our target when it comes to marketing campaigns. So we choose really the best model to try, let's enter the market really efficiently. The main distribution, again, is a DCB model, which today is not really successful in terms of let's say, subscription. But we had very good result in terms of, let's say, try and buy models when you get promotion for 3 months, 6 months with an SVOD partners. We had very good result with Stars Play. Let's say 2 or 3 years ago, on Morocco, we had 2,000K, 200 subscribers in Morocco with the promotion. We had also very good result there also on some vouchers operation on promotion. We really increased the rate of activation of those vouchers. So meaning that it's important to focus also on marketing and go to market. And we prefer to go with a promotion and have some promotion to start and launching to leverage on this, and then go for DCB model and standard distribution. So again, it's important to think about the customer. Second is to build a win-win partnership with bringing the assets and to be efficient on the go to market, especially on the promotion and the marketing campaigns.
Great, thank you, Sami. Moving on to Mustafa, despite the fact that you have quite a unique strategy when it comes to developing your service in the MENA region, what is your monetization strategy? Can you share some insights, please?
Sure. Of course, as an OTT platform, we have direct-to-consumer tools like, you know, any customer who uses digital wallets like Apple Store, or credit cards, they can definitely reach through these tools, but this is rather a minor part that, as I have mentioned earlier. We basically since 2018, with our very successful cooperation with STC, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and Kuwait, with Jawi, it was the first and larger partnership that we have done, and it was we were reaching a large audience through the operators service, because operator was very keen on creating a new brand and service and etc. So we normally it was not a kind of idea that we would have at that time, but we said that, okay, let's reach the audience through the operator's service. So this was a easier model to execute and a better model in many senses to create a unique, how can I say, experience reaching wider content in that sense. So this was the major monetization tool for us for a period. Right now it is getting diversified. So we are getting involved in operator OTTs, becoming part of that service, either as a branded area or add-on, or we are bundling our existing services like you know, iOS, Android, web services all together with the operators services, for example, digital packages or any other offers that they are making, bundling the service basically. For example, we have done this in recently, I think during this period, it was the recent one in Iraq with Zain. We bundled the service with their internet package, which was a big package. So we were bundling there, and right now Zain Iraq will launch hopefully the 4G soon. So we will be supporting them in that launch as well in a way. So we will be bundling or giving promotions during that period at their 4G launch. And of course, the last one is DCB connection. Yes, as Sami noted, if it is only DCB connection and you stay there, nothing really happens. We need to, I mean, the operators and service providers, I mean, content providers should work very closely together, especially on the marketing front, and to basically to reach the audience in a proper way. It might be either through promotion campaigns or marketing campaigns. In such cases, we basically share the revenue. So telecom operator and we do our investments on each part. I mean, marketing on the telecom side, we do the content delivery, So that's how it works basically.
Great, thank you very much, Mustafa. Moving on to Prince. Please tell me, what is your monetization strategy and how has that changed in the recent circumstances?
Yeah, thank you, Mona, for that question. I have a slightly divergent view from what we just heard, and although I tend to totally agree that yes, the kind of verticals of monetization are probably the same as both Sami and Mustafa mentioned. But for me, I see the opportunity with DCB a lot larger, a lot bigger than just a connect and exit kind of a mode, right? And the reason for that is because we've kind of managed to try a slightly different approach with that. What we do is that once we get a partner onboarded on the DCB, and that the reason for that is because it's pretty straightforward. The paperwork is straightforward, the integration is straightforward. It's a matter of weeks within which you can be up and running. The commitment that is required from the partner is, let's say, limited. We're not looking to have significant marketing dollars on the table, etc., before we get started, before we can actually trial the service out, before we can get it out to the customers. But like Sami mentioned and like Mustafa mentioned, if that's the end of it, then obviously you're not going to get anything out of it, right? So what we've actively been doing is that we've taken that entire approach to our mobile app. And the reason that's worked for us is because our core app, and we have only one app, so we've taken a single app strategy. We don't do multiple apps because the amount of effort, time, and kind of teamwork that goes into building, promoting, and growing an app is significant for any telco. So what we've done is, we've transformed that app into being a lifestyle kind of a product, eventually. So rather than just customers coming in and doing recharges or bill pays or raising a complaint when they are unhappy with us, which is what telco customers usually do. When they are unhappy, they probably think of the telco. But when they are happy, they go to other social media apps and other places, right? Because the telco app is not a place where people come to hang out traditionally, and that's something that we're trying to actively change by bringing in the kind of services that will be allowing us to have customers coming in. And that's great because we have almost 80% of our active users on the app on a daily basis. And that's a significantly big number who come into our app on a daily basis and open the app and do engage with us. So creating a category or a section for OTT services or partners within that app. And then once that is there, to use that to send in-app notifications to customers depending on the nationality, segmentation, past behavior, allows us to understand what content would be relevant for which segment. And therefore that can be can almost engage with the customer almost on a daily basis to understand the behavior and therefore drive up a lever on monetization. So that's the most kind of baseline of what is there, and a recent example of what's worked with us as well the last 2 quarters that we've seen. Of course, it could be obviously the pandemic effect has also worked to the favor of that in terms of driving up the growth on that front. The other verticals of bundling as well as kind of integrating with core plans is again a key factor. We've had good success with that as well. We've launched, Sami mentioned Stars Play, similar to that as well here in Oman as well. A couple of others are going live very soon. In our group companies in Qatar, earlier in the year, we launched with Netflix. Fantastic, promo and comms. Some of you may have seen that. The campaign with Money Heist. So great opportunity overall in terms of monetization. I think there's a strong sense of intent for the opcos to drive this forward. It's not a hype. It's not a tick in the box. It's something that we are committed to, and we believe there's an opportunity for everyone in the ecosystem.
Great, thank you for sharing your insights, Prince. Can I bring the attention now back to Sami? Since we've just discussed, Prince's thoughts on content strategy, for example, with this new app, etc. What is crucial for Orange to build an attractive content offer for the customer? I mean, types of genres, languages, etc., originals, exclusive content.
So first, let's just back to the story from the beginning. We were thinking that at the beginning the OTT wave and the SVOD was a mass market, but finally we discovered, let's say, that is not a concept that is very well known in our footprint in our countries. Around 20% of the people in Egypt and Morocco was and are, let's say, aware of the SVOD concept itself. It's often, let's say, 1 year ago that the main brands were very well known, like Netflix and so on, and some few, let's say, brands, local regional brands. As mentioned as well by Prince, there's also, let's say, some geeks that's very smart to use pirated application. So this is a kind of, let's say, a very difficult market, and nascent market to enter in terms of services and content. For content, so we do think now it's not a mass market. So we need really to adapt and focus on each territory, on each, let's say, go not a regional, have a regional approach and cluster in terms of partnerships, let's say, but really focus on what is expected the market. For instance, for Egypt, as you know, it's, let's say, 80% or 90% of the people are requesting Egyptian content, local ones. For Morocco, let's say it's a kind of mix between international, local, and pan-Arab. Local, generally speaking, is on during the Ramadan. So the same for Tunisia. So we need to adapt. And again, we need to try to find the right segmentation. So now we discovered that we need to address the binge viewer, the fan series. We did some marketing campaigns and TV spots on that, dedicated especially to those kind of segments. We diversified, and we're happy to diversify, let's say, with Turkish content. We do think that after some ban periods during the couple of years, now it's bringing back to the market. It has a great value, and I'm happy, inshallah, to discuss with and have a partnership with Mustafa, which we are working on. Mustafa. So and so Turkish content is relevant. The other point is we are trying now to support the ecosystem beyond the US for sure. That is now, let's say, generally speaking, really, very well developed. We have partnership with this year with NBC for Arabic, but not only Arabic now. NBC Shahid VIP. We had partnership with OSN, which have also great content with HBO content and Disney Plus distribution. So in terms of US, and we have star players, as I said. So in terms of US, we have everything on board, but now we are trying to support the local ecosystem in 2020 and 2021, which with let's supporting some SVOD local brands. We've launched Artify in Tunisia, which is SVOD. We have to support SVOD Artify. It's a local one that distributing films and Tunisian and films and series. Sorry. So really focused on local. It has been accelerated by our affiliate Orange Tunisie, and we help them at Orange Studio, bring them some catalogs from the group. We hope to also why not produce or co-produce in the future content that will really appeal to the local market, not only during the Ramadan, but during the year. It's like extending the Ramadan over the year. In terms of consumption, happiness, let's say happiness, and convenience in terms of usage as well.
Great, thank you, Sam.
Just the last point, that's very important. We had great success in Egypt, local content as well. With Orange Video, TV Video, we had more than 500K user subscribers in this platform. So thanks to this local content mainly on this platform.
Great, that's fantastic. Thank you, Sami. Moving on to Mustafa, what are your thoughts on what Sami has just expressed with us, looking for future collaborations? We all know that there has been a significant rise of Turkish content in terms of series, original, non-original. What is your strategy in order to attract new audience members, looking at different genres, different languages? I know you dub quite a lot of your own content.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, definitely. I mean, by the way, we are currently available in Orange, Jordan, in Orange, Egypt, and we are recently connected with Ooredoo, Oman, and everything. So with our friends, we have accomplished a lot in this year, in such a year. So thanks God. I mean, we have in fact accelerated our efforts to increase our partnerships in the region in the beginning of this year. Yes, it coincided with the virus pandemic and everything, but everybody was very keen on completing all the arrangements, integrations, and etc. And right now, for example, with Orange in Jordan, we are working on a broadband integration, soon to be completed, I believe so. And again, with Ooredoo Oman, probably we will be doing more, especially with the new app they are bringing. And so in addition to those, our content strategy is very exciting because in Turkey, especially, of course, it is a much bigger market for us at this point of time. And I can say that 60, maybe close to 60% of our content investment, or maybe more, goes to originals. And we produce our own originals, and these were like 10, 20 hours in the beginning, a year. Right now we are running into 100 hours of originals production a year, which is a big amount indeed. And this is really bringing, especially in Turkey, I can tell that 60-70% of our new users, new subscribers, the basic motivation for them to join Blue TV in Turkey is originals. But I cannot say that the rest of the content is not relevant. No, those are very critical to retain the customers. So retention, acquisition, different things. So we, in Turkey, we have diversified content. Main content is originals, but then international content, whatever you can think of. I mean, the studios like Warner's, HBO, MGM, exclusive deals, independent studios, independent movies, everything you can imagine, and live TV. So those are, this is the composition in Turkey. In MENA, it is 100% Turkish series. We are bringing the largest portfolio of Turkish series under one roof to the region. And we are adding every year new thousands of hours of Turkish content, and also bringing our originals. And most of the content is dubbed, but especially the new ones, which are like to make it rather quick delivery to the market parallel to Turkey, it is subtitled in Arabic. For example, our originals are subtitled. We are hearing that people, I mean our audience or Arabic speaking audience, is happy to have subtitled content, as they feel like are happy to hear the Turkish sound, but the subtitle. But of course, the differences, this changes a lot when you reach the larger audience, and that is what we are targeting. So larger audience, the mass market asks for dubbing. And yes, we have 80-90% dubbed right now, but for the coming titles, we will be dubbing more. Yeah, I mean, so our strategy in MENA and rest of the world, where Turkish series are very popular, we will continue to aggregate Turkish content, more movies and series, and deliver more than 100 hours of new originals a year. Basically, that's our strategy.
Great, thank you very much, Mustafa. Moving on to Prince. Well, since there's one big happy family vibe going on here with Orange, Blue TV, and Orido, when it comes to strategy, looking at, for example, Ramadan, and what is your approach for, since you've only had the launch of your new app in the last 2 quarters, what will be your strategy for Ramadan to come, for example? Are you also looking at more original content, and then looking at the attention span of, you know, your audience members, your customers, clients, etc.? What are your thoughts on that?
Right, and just to set the comment on the earlier on the app. The app itself has been there for a couple of years, more than that now. What we've introduced is the engagement of the OTT within the app. So that's the recent change, which kind of helps drive up the OTT ecosystem. And yes, absolutely. So Ramadan definitely is a key season or period within which there's a lot of focus on content. And even outside of Ramadan, we look at content as an enabler key for multiple kind of genres. There's the entertainment track, there's the sports track, there's the video and both in terms of originals as well as studio content. We see there's a lot of attraction. So for example, obviously this year there's been a lot less new release in terms of movies in the theaters, for example. But in the previous years, if there was a big release coming out in the theater, we would kind of link that to the previous prequels, or line up those content which is similar and run a campaign around that, or on the OTT, that working together with the OTTs. That would mean that it helps them gather the momentum towards the new release that comes in. And anyways, with the new release, there's always lots of comms going out in the market. There's lots of media messaging around it, so it helps you monetize and it helps you capitalize on that momentum that's already out there. In terms of Ramadan, again, specifically, there's a lot of specific content that gets created in the region for Ramadan. So that's a key focus area for it. And we always see a huge spike in terms of consumption, whether it's channels which are meant for drama, or channels which are meant for let's say cooking content towards the second, third, fourth weeks of Ramadan, etc. So you see that flavor going on in terms of how that shifts during the 4 weeks of Ramadan as well. The key factor, though, in terms of the entire capability of what drives usage is a combination of originals, because that has the ability to engage with the customer. And like Mustafa said, a lot of native audience, or kind of advanced users or early users are very happy to watch content in the original language with dubbed text subtitles, because that gives them a feeling of being closer to the series. Whereas often when the dubbing comes in, it sounds, although the language is understandable, but it sounds foreign because it doesn't sound natural to the content, right? But again, once you go, and we've seen that as well. The Turkish series are very, very popular in the region. Korean, series are very, very popular in the region. So, and again, obviously people don't understand these languages, but they love the content. They love the stars, the people who participate in that. So there's a great fan following there. And of course, there is the usual tier 1 content, which is from the studios as well, which have a lot of awareness around it, because of this, they're spoken about a lot more. They're seen around in the media a lot more, which means they get a lot of eyeballs through that as well. So combination of all the three put together is what builds the content strategy. So you need the big studios for the awareness, for driving the eyeballs, etc. You need the originals to have that engagement, to get that emotional connect, because that's when you have continuity in that engagement. And then you have the niche content which comes in as well, which kind of drives excitement and keeps the customer coming back.
Great, thank you, Prince. Would you agree, Sami, with what Prince has just mentioned to us in terms of needing the big studios and original content to try and drive more attention to your content?
Yes. I'm agree. 2020 was really the year of let's say the development of local content, and especially originals. So it's very important to create that link with the quality in the market, with the very valuable productions that coming to the market. But I should just add on what has been said by Prince and Mustafa. We're also trying to diversify beyond action, comedy, what is the standard of consumption, telenovelas, let's say, that's its regular consumption during the year in Ramadan. We need to try to diversify in terms of, let's say, productions. And that's what we are looking as well at Orange, is to try to create, innovate as well, and create some positive content beyond the violence and so on, because again, it's part of the role of the operator to have a responsibility, local one. We need to comply with a lot of rules and so on. But we need to have also positive attitude and trying to work and maybe co-produce in the future again, as I said, would be nice to do and to develop positive, let's say, positive content as well, and local contents.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Sami. Well, gentlemen, we only have a few moments left for this fantastic panel discussion. I'd like to try and wrap things up with our final look at the future and roadmap with you all. So maybe in a nutshell, could you summarize what will be your next growth drivers, please? Can we start with you, Sami, and then move on to Mustafa, please?
Yes, again, maybe I think this is exactly what I said. For the future, we keep developing our strategy of multi-service operator, try to bring convenience, the best packages, try to increase the level of bundling of SVOD and include as well sports. We have let's say a great partnership with beIN Sport as well in the region. So we try to develop as well the video the sports. We try to reduce the price to our customers and let's say improve our bidding efficiency by launching even some e-wallets and using our Orange Money method of payment. And also, again, I should say the last part is on the content itself. Still, like we start in this year, animating each week by content, not by brand. We put digital post on each, let's say this episode, that series, that still increasing that efficiency and working with a partner on that. We need to collaborate and maybe try to see if we can co-produce something or work on something for Ramadan or even beyond Ramadan.
Great. Thank you very much, Sami. Mustafa, please.
Sure.
Your roadmap ahead.
Yeah, roadmap. I mean, the first point is content. I mean, on our side, we will in Turkey, specifically in Turkey, we will be increasing the scope of the content we are offering to our audience, because the size of the audience we are reaching growing day by day. So from live TV to comedy to everything, we are increasing the diversification. This is one of the things, and increasing the originals output significantly. And another point which also impacts our strategy in MENA, we are increasing the output of originals, we are increasing the diversity of these originals as well. So which would be there will be very interesting titles, for example, for 2021 for MENA region specifically. For MENA, for the Arabic-speaking audience, basically we will be, as Turkish content is more like a local content for the market. I mean, considering that 30% of the content search over the internet is for Turkish series, maybe 60% is for Arabic content. So there is a huge demand for Turkish series. We will increase the level of content we can deliver to the market. This would be so very much related to content. That's one part. And second and most important part is how we will reach the audience. And thanks to our initiatives in 2020, we will accelerate and complete most of the partnerships we have been talking. And we will be doing more campaigns with our partners, with telecom operators and strategic partnerships.
Excellent, Mustafa. And finally, to our last speaker, Prince, what are your thoughts on that? And what is your next roadmap for Ooredoo?
Right, I think there are, great question to sum it up. I think, given the context of what we've been speaking about, is because the roadmap looks very, very exciting and it's very, very busy as well. The reason for that is very simple. TV viewing, as we knew it, is going to change, is already changing, and it's not going to be at all what it has been in the last decade, looking up at the next decade. And we're at that, at the cusp of that kind of changeover almost. So what's going to happen is very clearly, a lot of the mainstream providers, mainstream media houses are going to move actively. Some of them already have, and the others are already following suit into an OTT kind of a structure, looking at that's where the audiences are. So I guess, people who've had the early moving advantage like Blue TV would be, in a well-placed situation as and when that happens. From an MNO, from an operator standpoint, for us, it becomes a challenge, of course, that we need to address within the roadmap because, how do we work with so many different partners? How do we prioritize? What is the right content that we pick? What is the level of effort that we do for one versus the other? How do we position and structure this back to our customers in terms of understanding what is it that drives their interest? Because there's going to be a deluge of content, which is apps and services which is coming their way in the next decade. So how do we structure all of that and bring value back to the consumer? Because that's what we are. Our vision as Ooredoo is enriching people's digital lives, and the core of that is going to be in terms of from an entertainment perspective, from a content perspective, is going to be through video as well. So that enabling that video access through the right experience and the right content is going to be key as part of the roadmap for the next few years.
Excellent. Well, I wish each and every one of you all the best for the road ahead. And it's been a real pleasure to moderate this panel discussion this morning. Thank you for your time. We unfortunately have run out of time. I believe we don't have any questions so far. So we are going to call it a day. So thank you very much once again, wishing you all the best and stay safe, please. Thank you.
Thank you.